I'm Ian Sinclair and I'm the co-producer and actor for Red Cross, which is part of the Old Enough to Know Better season at the Blue Room. Well, the story is about, I think, people who are trapped, and they're trapped in themselves. They're so selfish and self-absorbed that they don't think about anyone else. They don't have any concerns about anyone. And it's about learning to care for other people, basically. Learning to, I don't want to say grow up, but yeah, learning to grow up and accept other people and accept yourself. Initially, I didn't really understand the ideas or the concepts behind the play, but I really enjoyed the writing. It's a Sam Shepard text, and I really enjoyed the sounds and the way that characters speak to each other and how they interact. And there's beautiful sort of images of, you know, one character is sort of on a ski slope and she has this huge accident and crashes down, and her head explodes and it turns into a giant snowball and rolls into the city and kills like 1 million people. And it sounds crazy, but it also, the way it's written is beautiful and amazing, so yeah. I'm a co-producer and an actor, and the role I'm playing is Jim, who is basically just like a big man-child. He basically has a tantrum on stage the whole time. Not a huge big one, just at different levels, but he's basically, it's like I think of him as like a bully in a playground, basically. He's kind of like, he's running around to the next person he sees and, you know, tries to push them over on the swing, and runs over to the jungle gym and like kind of pushes everybody off, and like, it's like, I'm the best, and that's, I think, what he's like. He's a mess. He's a big childish mess. In a way, I think everyone has that part of them. He's kind of animalistic too, and I think everyone sometimes has to play the bully and be the bully. But I think when you get into the rehearsal space, it's kind of different again, because you come in trying to be calm and let everything flow over to you, and then you suddenly have to find that bully, have to be that bad guy, that crazy person, and it's really difficult to get to that point. So it's actually been a lot harder than I had originally thought. Well, I was talking with Sarah McKellar, the director, about this just yesterday, and we were talking about why do people want to be actors, why do people want to be anything. I'm not so sure yet. This is kind of why I've sort of experimenting with this, because as I said, predominantly I'm a writer, but I always find that I'm drawn to it. I always watch actors and I always want to be like, man, I want to be as good as them, or like I see someone on stage and I'm like, oh, I want to do that. And so I think I can't sort of help it. I'm just constantly drawn back to it all the time. So it's not really, there's not really a reason why do I want to, it's just that I kind of need to be for myself.
I'm Sarah McKellar and I'm directing Red Cross at the Blue Room, starting on the 29th of June and running till 17th of July. It's basically about learning to care for others and not live a life of sort of irresponsibility, basically. And I think that relates back to the title Red Cross, which gives the idea of sort of caring for others and salvation as well. There's sort of ideas of salvation in there as well. Well, I was actually asked to come on board by the actors. The actors chose the play, and then they asked me if I would like to direct it, and I said, okay, I'll just have another read of it, because we read it in during uni. And I remember it was really very strong in its images. There's some really strong images, and it sounds very text-based, and there's some beautiful wintry images and some sort of violent images as well that are very striking. And when you read it, it sounds so strange. It's such a strange thing to read because almost nothing happens, actually. It's really just kind of people in a room talking to each other, and it could seem really, really dull to read. And that's kind of been the process of looking at it. So when they asked me would I like to do it, I said, okay, I'll have another look. And I looked at it again, and I sort of did a little bit of research, and once I felt like I understood it, it was the process of what I thought it meant, creating that on stage, actually making that come to life in when the text actually can be quite abstract. So I started with researching Sam Shepard, and he wrote this play in '67, and he wrote a lot of stuff. So you get the impression now that he looks back on it and sort of goes, wow, I just really wrote a lot, and it was really a young playwright's work. So you pretty much have free rein with it, which was great. So we approached it this thinking, well, what can we do with this? We'll just go a bit nuts. And it's still quite an intuitive process, I think, in the actual space. I went into it feeling like I had to be quite strong about what I thought it meant. I think you could decide that it meant something else entirely, because the script is quite abstract in a way. It's very image-based. You could decide that it meant something else.